just welcome if it's your first time being here. I'm continuing on a painting project that I haven't worked on for like a month.
Grand Admiral Mango just subscribed. Yay, 3.
Mango, welcome in. Thank you so much for the resub. 10 months. It's gone by so quickly. Hope you're doing well, Mango. But yeah, I'm back on working on the Mando today. If I sound a little bit odd, it's because I'm working with a damaged mic and like 4 hours of sleep. So I'm very, very sleepy. And my mic is not working still. So I apologize for any mic-based technical difficulties or brain-based technical difficulties today. But yeah, we're back painting the Mandelorian. I'm going to be working on the torso and just the torso today. So it might be a short stream, it might not be. I don't know how long it's going to take me. But yeah. Oh, also, yay, tendonitis is back. So if I drop stuff, that's why. I just need to super quickly top up the water and we'll be going. Doing pretty good. Glad to hear it, Mango. Indy, welcome in. Okay, well. Hope you're having a good weekend. Okay. Let's go. Let's do the thing. I'm gonna start with something that I know what colour to paint, and I'll work my way out. So it's been a little while since we worked on the Mando, and yeah, this is the Mando. So this is Dinjarin style painting. Before we managed to get the base, the feet, and some of the details done. So like the smoke trails and the fire, they're all done. We've got this. We've got the rest of the cloak and the head and backpack to do. So I'll probably do one more stream of just painting pieces, and then I don't know, this might only be 1 or 2 streams left in it. It's pretty close to being done because most of the pieces that are left are fairly straightforward. So we'll see. But yeah, I hope everyone's having a good weekend. Anyone get up to anything exciting? If you're wondering why I'm so sleep deprived, I was up late writing last night. That was it. I was working on a story. I kind of blinked and it was 3 a.m. And I was like, oh, okay, I should probably sleep a little bit. Like, I'll just finish this chapter though. So it's all self-inflicted. And I'm looking forward to a very lazy day afterwards. I'll have to stream to make up for it. So yeah, I'm just currently picking up all the Beskar pieces first. Just because they're the easiest one. That'll kind of get my eye in and get me warmed up for the rest of the bits. Again, if you're wondering what the deal is with the wrist brace, it's just some tendonitis. That's all. My day job aggravated it again. It's a right pain in the backside, but not a lot I can do about it, really, unfortunately. So put it in a brace and hope for the best. But yeah, next week, I've got a few things planned. The wrist thing is why I wasn't able to do as much this week as I'd originally planned, because it's taking a bit longer to heal than I would like to. But next week, I've got a shiny game that I'm super excited about. That I'm going to be playing over on YouTube. Based on Frankenstein. So that's really neat. What else I got coming up? More Expanse soon. That's going to be... I don't think it's going to be this week. I think that's going to be next week. God, what else have I got? I'm drawing a blank because I'm so tired. My brain is just kind of not wanting to work today. Obviously, I'll be finishing this project next week, or at least it will be the last but one stream of that. So this will be coming to a close very soon. Hopefully I'll be okay to do Cult of the Lamb again soon. If not, I have some interesting things planned. But bummed out that the print on this wasn't too good. Unfortunately, this is as clean as I could get it, even with my best efforts. So it kind of looks a little bit like there's polka dots all over them, but that is a modeling fault, I think. Even with my my modeling files, this was about as smooth as I could get it. So it was a little unfortunate, but I think the paint kind of covers the worst of it. And again, I'm using references to kind of help me place the colours. So there's a couple of screenshots from a TV show and pictures online, things like that. I'll be honest, the explosion of cosplay has been super good for things like that. Before, it was really difficult to find solid reference pictures. And just kind of the explosion of digital art, fan art, cosplay, things like that. So it's had a knock-on benefit for those those of us who like to do model-based fan arts, because there's actually now usually a few places you can go to find good quality, detailed reference photos. Obviously, they were put there for the intention of helping cosplayers, but they also help us little painters as well. So, shout out to other artists helping us model painters. Thank you for getting popular so that we can benefit a little bit. Yes, I still think out of all of the kind of various mediums that you see out and about in the world, model painting is kind of very underrepresented as an art form. Which I'm fine with, but it's nice to get recognized outside of the model painting community occasionally, you know? But anyway, moving on. Still working on the Beskar here, and this is just a really simple layer of iron hands steel over black, basically, just a black primer. But I found it's kind of the most effective thing for a really solid brushed metal look. That's kind of what I'm going for here with the Beskar armor. Yeah, I hope everyone's having an awesome weekend. I hope you're getting to relax. Hope you're able to take some time to take care of yourself. When I say taking care of yourself, I don't necessarily mean the poster child for self-care with face masks and bubble baths and stuff like that. The boring parts of taking care of yourself are still valid forms of self-care. By that, I mean things like eating your veggies, drinking a glass of actual water. Yeah, they're the boring parts. Getting rid of that stack of papers that's been sat on the table for who knows how long. You've been meaning to throw away but just haven't got around to it yet. That's still a form of self-care. It frees up your brain to focus on other things. Hey, Sophie, welcome in. I hope you're doing well. Love the name change. I don't know when that happened, but I love it. I hope you're having a good weekend. Doing good? You got a day off? Nice. Glad to hear it. glad to hear it. I hope you have a wonderful chill day off. You deserve it. I know you work really hard. How is the nail art going? Okay. Like the new Tuesday. Thank you. Alright, take a quick hydration break. Yeah, honestly, I should have changed my name to Jinxie the Sleepy. It would have been more appropriate. You're a sleepy bean. There was a self-care ain't just face masks and bubble baths. Definitely counts if your self-care today is just making sure you drink the water, you move around a little bit, don't sit in one place. Even if that is just walking, up and down a flight of stairs a couple of times. Get yourself moving. Give yourself some the tools that you need to feel better by doing the boring bits. It's easier to feel better when you're hydrated and you've had, some vitamins in you. And believe me, I hate giving this advice because I hated hearing it. I didn't want to admit that exercise will help make you feel better actually worked. Never wanted to do it. Never wanted to exercise, never wanted to eat healthy. I didn't mind drinking water. That's kind of where it started for me. I realised, damn it. Alright, being well hydrated does make you feel better. And, yeah, kind of went from there, really. Now I'm kind of strict on myself for making sure I hit my activity quota for the day and that sort of thing. You're surprisingly well. Nice. 8% of your day job and someone dropped to 60% after your vacation, so you could do more nail stuff. That's awesome. Congratulations. That's amazing progress. I've been loving seeing the posts and stuff that you've made. So what's battle? No worries. Take your time. I'm glad I can help. But yeah, it bugged me no end getting that sort of advice. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it would endlessly annoy me when I got that advice off other people. Like, just drink more water, just eat healthy, all that sort of thing. It doesn't have to be all overnight. But just, drink 1 glass of water today, if you haven't already. For me, I like to do it first thing in the morning when I'm not really awake yet. I'm waiting for the coffee to boil. I have a glass next to the kettle. So while the kettle is boiling, kind of thing. I'll pour myself a glass of water and just drink it while I wake up. It's done. Yeah, that's it. Tick it off the box. Plus, it makes you feel like you've done something before you've even really woken up, which is great. But yeah, it started with doing that. Just a single glass of water, first thing in the morning, while I waited for the kettle to boil. And I noticed I was feeling better. Or, like, I was feeling more awake quicker during the day. And then I slowly started feeling good about it. And it kind of spiraled outwards from there, basically. And days like today, where yesterday I ate really trashy food. Like, I ate pizza, and donuts, and sweets, and didn't drink enough water, and basically had nothing that was healthy all day. Which is fine. Those sorts of days are absolutely fine in moderation. But today I feel it. After a few weeks of eating better, and then having like a junk food binge like that, I feel the difference in my body. Doesn't feel good. It feels like a hangover. And I never used to get those. So it's a novel feeling for me. And it's a kind of a good reminder to take care of the body you inhabit. So today is going to be all about rest and getting some good nutritious food in and kind of resetting a bit. I'm going to be making some nice healthy bread. Probably some soup for my lunches next week. Just doing some like really simple nutritious food that I can kind of pack in vitamins and things like that, so that, but also low effort, because good grief, I am tired. Sometimes that's all it is. Hey, welcome back, Soupy. Hey, Magic, welcome in. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good weekend. Yeah, boring self-care. It's not glamorous. It's not, you know, like I said, it's not bubble baths and, you know, picturesque walks that look great on Instagram and all that sort of thing. I mean, that's part of it. Going on a walk, it's great for you. Face mask, probably good to help you relax, but sometimes it's the boring stuff. Sometimes it's brushing your teeth and, you know, changing into clothes that you haven't worn for a week. A fresh pair of pajamas. Things like that. And it's boring and basic and won't get you any social media clout, but honestly, that kind of boring basic stuff probably makes more of a difference to me personally than the big stuff. And it's something that I feel quite strongly about, as you can probably tell, because I've been talking about it for the past few minutes. But yeah. Oh, is my mic not picking up my voice again? Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what I can do about this mic. I have tried everything I can to get this working to the best of my ability. But it is quite badly damaged, and I'm not sure how it's managed to get this damaged. But it is. Definitely need to replace it. maybe next time I get paid next month. New mic fund. You guys already do too much for me. I can't ask you to pay for everything. New mics are like £100 at least. Probably more depending on what I go for. But even the basic kind of streaming mics are about £100 at the moment. It's frustrating, but it's not money I've got spare. Trying to save up, trying to get that tax fund going, pay my bills, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I will be replacing my mic soon, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me properly again soon. As soon as I'm able. Sorry, what? Secret gift. Oh, Jake. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's funny, my Fitbit is synced up to my emails, so it receives the alerts before anything else. I hope the alert came through. I'm sorry if it didn't. My phone alerts have been a bit weird. Try the headphones you get when you buy a phone. Fun fact, Mango. My phone, when I got it, didn't come with any of that stuff. I've got an Oppo. It did. Good. I'm glad. Thank you very much, Magic. You're too kind. You know that. I got an Oppo phone there, Mango. Didn't come with headphones. Doesn't even have a headphone jack. I'm so annoyed because I didn't know that when I bought it. I know I'm stuck with it until like 2025 or something, until my phone contract renews. I don't have any of my old ones because I cleared out all of my tech at the beginning of this year. So I don't have any from like my previous phone because I sent all of it off to the recycling. So yeah, unfortunately, I was gonna try and get one of my friend's old microphones, like desk stand microphones, if they had it spare. But I think Magic just solved the problem. Thank you so much. You're too kind, Magic. You really are. Ad break. Go away. I know only mods can see like the upcoming ad break thing. I don't think that's something that pops up in the whole of chat. But I like to snooze them as much as I can when I see them. And I don't know what to say now. Thank you. But yeah, my phone. Don't get Oppo, whatever you want to call them. Don't get those. Just get for one of the regular Samsung, like Samsung, or Google, or iPhone, or whatever. Just, Oppo phones are not good phones. They got nice cameras. That's about it. Pain in my backside, singers. But at least it's helping me use my phone less. I get so annoyed with the thing that I just like turn it off, do other things instead. There's no headphone jack. We sell adapters to USB-C. It is like that. It is. I have a pair. Luckily, I have a little pair of like cheap Bluetooth earbuds because I refuse to get a USB-C to 3.5mm headphone jack converter because I think that's the dumbest thing. We've been able to put headphone jacks in phones for what, like a decade or more? Like, I'm not going backwards in technological advance, technological achievements. I refuse. But yeah, I inadvertently ended up with a phone that doesn't have a headphone jack. And I'm stuck with it until I think it's 2025. So a long time. I'm so annoyed by it. Oops. Minor error. Yeah. Bring back the headphone jack. Not that I use mine, but actually no, I use mine a fair bit. I'm one of those people who always walks around with earbuds in when I'm out and about, unless I'm with people. Like if I'm just going to get groceries on my own or something like that, I'll usually wear earbuds, listen to audiobooks or things like that. It helps me navigate through the world without too much anxiety. Plus, I like to listen to stuff when I go for a walk, which I've started trying to do at least once a week. you're wondering, I'm kind of focusing more towards, I think it's season 1 Mando that my references mainly come from. A lot of grey and brown in his costume. I might take some artistic license with it, just because there's a lot of this brown at the moment. Kind of looks a bit much. So it might not be fully accurate by the time I'm done. Love my Bluetooth. Love your earbuds. Your headset's a cable. Yeah, I mean my headsets have always been cable too, but I do plan on changing that next time I have some free space in my budget to spend on things I don't really need. I want to get a pair of proper, like, higher quality headphones anyway. I want to upgrade my headset. And I've managed to find some really, really nice ones that I love, that I can customize and all that sort of thing. But they also happen to be wireless, which is great because I'm really tired of running over my wires with my desk chair. Because for me, my tower is extremely close to my desk, and having a 2+ meter cable going from that to my headset is just not practical. I end up running over it with my chair at least once a day. Okay. Mr. Mando, if you would be so kind as to stay put, that would be most helpful. Thank you. But yeah, I need a pair of wireless headphones. Well, not need, but want a pair of wireless, so that I can actually get some longevity out of them. I'm looking at a pair that a company that also do I think studio monitors and things like that. So they've got a specialist company. Yeah, they know what they're doing. It also means I don't mind waiting to get them, because they're the thing that I want, and they fit all of the criteria. They're just expensive, so I have to save up. And like I said, not really a priority getting new earphones when bills and things like that are more of a concern. The thing that always bugs me with wireless headphones is input delays, and the fact that the quality always seems to be slightly worse. I used to do sound technician work, so it kind of made me a little bit of an audio snob. I'm not one of these people that's just like, oh my god, you've got to have the perfect balance. I'm not that bad, but I can tell when speakers are poor quality, for example, or something like that, and it does bug me. I'm not saying you need the most expensive stuff by any means, because there are some really awesome, cheap, high quality headphones out there, or speakers, or whatever we're talking about. But no, crappy audio quality bugs me ever so slightly. Sorting out the two-tone gloves, which is something I've not seen before. Which are apparently grey and this sort of like mustardy khaki colour, according to my reference. Very strange. I don't know, maybe someone in costume design would be able to tell me, you know, why the fingers would need to be a different colour to the rest of the glove. If there's a reason that would be there. That's that one. Okay. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm filling in all the rest of the panels, and then I might come back to this undershirt situation, because it's the most accurate I can get it with regards to the references I'm using. I'm not sure I like how it looks, so I might tweak it slightly. But I'm going to come back to it once the rest of the model's been done, just so that I can adjust it to make it look more aesthetically pleasing with the rest of the model already done. Over more flexible material. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what it's meant to be, Mango. I think my guess is that the back of the hands are armoured, and the fingertips are left just regular cloth for, like, you know, gripping a weapon, for example. I don't know. It's just very odd. It looks very strange to me. I don't know. I'm also kind of basing what I know of what you would need off of my experience in airsoft, like in terms of being able to grip weaponry and things like that. My main experience is airsoft. You know, I was never in the military. I did do martial arts for a long time, but taekwondo, the variety that I did was all hand-to-hand combat. There were no weapons involved. So my main experience of needing to be able to keep a hold of your weapon is airsoft, which, let's face it, not much of an experience comparatively compared to a true Mandalorian. Uh, Not exactly the same, really. Strange to me are real gloves. Well, to be fair, I do have a pair of those gloves that has the random rubber stuff on the back. But there's knuckle reinforcement, which honestly I need because the number of times I've run around a corner and whacked my knuckles on the brick is silly. They have like little pads over the joints because they're airsoft gloves. So when you're holding a pistol in your hand like that, for example, and you're just peeking around the corner, you will get shot there. People do aim for your hands, and it sucks getting shot in the knuckle. And then obviously I usually also have wrist protections and things. That's cool. Not as much as I used to, but yes. Yeah. I have airsoft guns, and I go as often as I can, which is usually at the moment only about once or twice a year. But yeah, you paintball. Oh, okay, so you get it then. You get it. No, I used to go about once every 2 weeks. When I was both younger and not in full time work. But nowadays, with work and you know, the whole chronic illness thing, I typically only manage to get out there 2, maybe 3 times a year, which is a shame, but it's life. But yeah, I have my own airsoft guns, all my own gear. I used to have my UK airsoft license called a Yukara. I let that go because it you have to do a certain number of games per year, and I couldn't keep up with the game requirement because, you know, busy life. Yeah, that's actually quite a while, quite long. People angry already. Blind fire around a corner. Oh, that makes me so angry. Blind firing makes me so angry. It's honestly, uh, like I was, if you've paintballed or airsofted, you'll know. But there are a couple of things that will make me super angry super quickly when I'm airsofting. Blind firing is one of them. It's so dangerous. You don't know how close someone is. You can really hurt someone if they're too close, especially if you've got a hot weapon. And by hot weapon, we come to number 2 that annoys me, which is more of an airsoft thing than a paintball thing, I think. It's when people bring their own game, like their own systems in, their own airsoft guns in, and they are too powerful. Because I have scars from people who have brought in hot weaponry. So that would be, you know, an airsoft gun of some description that is firing above the prescribed limit for FPS, which is how the speed and power of airsoft guns is measured. There are some people who will deliberately cheat those systems. And they make me so angry. Because I've been hit by, very high powering guns that should not have been allowed on the field. And the owners openly admit to cheating the FPS tests. And it makes me angry. Because we have kids that airsoft as well around here. Like little, quite young kids. 10 or so years old. And if they put a dent in my body, my not exactly small adult body, what's that going to do to a kid? Not to mention the fact that safety equipment is tested only up to a certain FPS. If you're firing over that, your safety equipment might fail. That's how you get players with shattered goggles going into their eyeballs. Which has happened on sites that I've been on. During days that I have been there. And it is really scary. Because you're firing, 6mm balls of plastic at hundreds of feet per second. So safety is kind of a big deal. As I'm sure, again, Mago, I'm sure you're familiar with from paintballing. And anyone who's been to any of these kind of events will know. Mostly first time players. For me, it's usually the other way in airsofting. First time players will do it because they don't really know. And it's usually like the younger kids who don't really get it. But then you also there's a certain type of, I don't want to call them veteran because that gives them a status that they don't deserve, but like more established airsoft player who kind of act like the rules don't apply to them. They just play how they want to play. And they are the ones that will typically blind fire. They'll typically cheat the FPS. They'll typically do what's known as overkill. Like in airsoft, when you're hit with a BB, you stick your arm straight up in the air and yell hit really loudly. It's an honor system. There are some, not many, but some airsoft players who take enjoyment from shooting people more than is necessary, even after they've called their hit. And these are the kind of airsoft players that make it hard for the rest of us to enjoy the sport, unfortunately. Sometimes crying you on the field. Yeah. Yeah, like they'll cry. Sometimes they'll cry on the field, but it just drives me nuts. Like, I legitimately, there is a small divot. It kind of looks like a chickenpox scar on my hip from a guy who brought a gun in, and it was so our sight limits were about 270, I think, at the time, which is a lot, and it will sting like hell if you get hit. It's not a small amount of FPS. It stings. It'll leave a bruise. It'll leave marks. Some of the marks on my arm that you see here, like some of these marks, they're from airsoft guns. Like that one there, right next to my tattoo, that was from an airsoft gun. A couple of these ones higher up, airsoft guns. They leave marks, even within the limits. This guy brought in a 400 FPS weapon. It was 400 FPS. Some sort of rifle or DMR. This was a few years ago. And we were in a firefight across a field, and we must have been about 15, 20 feet apart. And luckily, I had some really good solid cover. Unluckily, my gun was not the most accurate because it's a World War II replica of a PPSH. So my accuracy is volume, and my FPS is kind of low comparatively. And he's trying to hit me with this DMR thing. And they're whacking really hard against the wood, and I'm like, this sounds a bit weird. I don't want to get hit with this. But whatever, everything. There's a lot going on. And then he wings me in the side, and it genuinely winds me. It takes the wind out of my lungs. I call my hit and whatever, and go over to the marshal. And I'm like holding my side. This hurts. Take a look at it, and already you see like a, grapefruit-sized bruise around where I got hit, and I'm like, that's not normal. These things will leave little, 6mm bruises. You kind of look like you got attacked with a purple marker sometimes. So to have something that's kind of the size of a grapefruit on quite a squishy part of my body, I'm like, this ain't right. I called over a marshal, and they just take one look at it and then look at my arm, which is kind of polka dotted. They could tell I don't just bruise really badly. This hit hard. I know. And he got chronoed on the field at 440, I think it was actually. So, yeah. And that left a scar. That sucked. And it's such a simple thing. Follow the sight limits. They're there for a reason. But yeah, when the sight limit is 270, that is still enough to leave a mark. There is no excuse for going over that, especially these days. In the UK, at least, these days, there was a change in the law, maybe 2-3 years ago, which now means that certain systems, if they go over prescribed FPS limits, actually count as firearms. You can end up with firearms offences on your record if you're not careful. And it's because people got stupid with modifying their systems to just hurt people for no good reason. 300 FPS or 280 when you play with shaped? Fair enough. Yeah, we like I was saying, we've got prescribed legal limits now. So I think it's for rifle-like, so something like an M4 airsoft gun, for example. It's 270, I think, is the legal limit. And then if it's a sniper-esque, so sniper, DMRs, things like that are longer distance, they are, I want to say 500, but you have a minimum engagement distance, so you can't shoot them if they get too close. Which, honestly, that's good. I've been accidentally shot close range by a sniper. That hurts too. It was my own fault. I blame the sniper in no way, shape, or form, because I didn't know they were there, and I ran in front of them as they hit the trigger. It was an accident, but I still remember it, and I would not repeat the experience. Above 7.5 Newton. Yeah, ours is measured in joules. I think it's no more than 1 joule at the muzzle point. And then if it goes, I think it's if it goes over, I want to say if it goes over 600, you need some variety of firearms license. But all of my stuff is quite low, like deliberately low. It's well under the FPS limits because, one, I'm not out to cause any harm to people. Like I don't play airsoft so that I can, shoot people. I play it because it's fun. I don't play to put dents in people. So my stuff is deliberately low. It's powerful enough that you know if you got hit, and that's about it. But it also just gives it a little bit of a buffer. if the rules do change, I'm protected still. Because the very last thing I want is to be hauled into the police station on firearms charges. Because that's kind of not cool. And that can affect things like, I don't know, my ability to get a job. Even if it's a perfectly reasonable misunderstanding, still kind of not what you want. So yeah, I very much practice a better safe than sorry kind of approach. I think I'm actually going to repaint this. People get really silly with airsoft, which is another reason why I kind of reduced how much I do it. Because unfortunately there's a group here in our local scene that is kind of headed the wrong way, and they frequent a lot of the same sites that we used to go to here. And just kind of ruin the experience for everyone. So we just kind of stopped. Yeah, they're the kind of people that take a very lackadaisical view of the safety regulations. They kind of seem to think they don't apply. Otherwise, yeah, like funny enough, I met my partner partly because of airsoft. Because we both, I knew the person who ran the airsoft group at my uni, and my partner was a member of that group. And we met when, I turned up to one of their social evenings just to kind of check it out, and I ended up meeting my partner there. So, it's kind of a big deal. I know many wonderful people thanks to airsoft. Wouldn't change it for the world, but it does suck that all it takes is a few bad actors to kind of ruin it. Luckily, a lot of the friendships and relationships have outlasted the airsoft, which is quite nice. But yeah, if we end up moving away, there's a few places like up and down the country that we know of that we'd probably go to more often if we were closer. But for the time being, in our local area is kind of not fun a lot of the time. Fair bit more toxic. It depends. Yeah, a lot of the people are wonderful. Like I spent a fair time moaning about it, but that's because I've been in doing it for a long time. You do get a lot more of the how do I put this nicely? Stereotypical COD lobbies on Xbox Live types, if that makes any sense. You get a lot more people who think they know more than they do. They try to show off, but the way they try to show off is actually not a good thing. And SL's got a little bit more popular in recent years, I think, as well, which hasn't helped. Unfortunately, it's been a bit of a victim of its own success. But Having said that, there are some very wonderful people I've met because of Airsoft, and I haven't changed that. And that's not a fault of the game itself or the sport itself. It's more a fault of site owners and content creators who perpetuate the attitude and let it go rather than tackling it and dealing with it appropriately. I need to be one of those guys where it's like, if you don't lead by example, if you're say an airsoft content creator that is advocating for toxic behaviors, then you're part of the problem, not part of the solution. Ruining it for the rest of us. I mean, we've got some very prominent airsoft content creators who are just outright banned from nearly every airsoft site in the country because of their behaviour, so it's unfortunate. Yeah. Some of the stuff, and like any sport, anything, there are bad actors, bad representatives of the sport, and there are good ones. Annoyingly, it's the bad ones that get all the attention. So yeah, you get idiots carrying airsoft systems on the open street. I mean, the group that I used to go with, someone did that. They carried their pistols. Bear in mind, they were also dressed up in full, like, camo and stuff. They were just carrying their airsoft pistols in their holster on his hip while walking through the middle of a city centre after an airsoft game. This is at like 5 o'clock on a Saturday. Little kids around. And you didn't draw it or anything, it was just there. But it's still... it's so dumb. It's lucky he wasn't tackled by the firearms police, but he was kicked out of our group. Because it wasn't an accident. He was told about it while it was happening. He was just like, oh no, it's fine. Next day he was out of the group, because no, it's not fine. You put the whole group at risk doing that. We can't be associated with people who are going to put the group at risk. People are idiots. Yep. You can get that too if neighbours. Well, you wouldn't necessarily get arrested, but if neighbours, like here, for example, where I live, there's a lot of flats and things like that. So if I was, say, testing an airsoft gun out of my window at a tree, and someone saw me, they would see me holding what looks like a realistic Desert Eagle, pointing into a public area and shooting. People who are not familiar with guns will mistake airsoft guns for the real thing, because they don't know how to tell the difference. Unless they're painted bright purple or have the silly orange plastic chunks tacked onto them, which in the UK you don't have to do. People who don't know will mistake airsoft guns for real firearms, which means they will act as though you are pointing a real gun at them. Which in most cases involves calling the police. It just means being sensible. The police will act as though you have a real firearm when they come to visit you, until they can confirm it's not real. which is why we have things like licensing, site memberships and things like that, so that you can go, hey, it's okay, I'm an airsofter. Look, here is my membership, here is my license number. This is why I have these guns. No, they're not real. They shoot plastic balls. But it's also why the bad actors actually put the whole sport at risk. Because all it takes is one idiot shooting it out the window at some poor sod just trying to go about their day, and it causes everyone to crack down on them. We used to have some like older teenagers where I used to live. There was a group of about 4 of them, and they all had these terrible, like, 10-pound airsoft guns, which they were just spray painted black. And me being an airsofter, I could instantly just look at them and go, nah, that's not real. But someone who doesn't know about weapons, someone who doesn't know about airsoft, would look at that and they would just see a handgun. And they were firing at cars and people's pets and things like that. And, like, we went out and yelled at them because it was a house of airsofters. We were like, just, like, we will take those off of you if we catch you around here again. And then we went and called the police on them, because the police are the best people to deal with that. Because it is a police matter. Even if it makes my enjoyment of the thing harder, I will not hesitate to call the police on someone who is doing that sort of thing to people who won't necessarily know that they're not in danger. Quite apart from the fact that if they shoot badly, they could take someone's eye out. These people might not necessarily know that it's just a toy. And they might think they're in real danger. And that's not fair. Like, as much as airsofters deserve to be left in peace, non-airsofters deserve to not feel like they're being threatened with an actual gun by idiots who don't know how to handle airsoft weapons. So I do see both sides. And I will happily advocate for anyone's right to feel safe, even if it impacts my own life. It makes my life a bit trickier. With annoying bits of paper that prove that I have these for a valid reason, and not just because I think it's funny to point them at passing cars. Yeah. It's kind of like anything, though. The people who want to enjoy clay pigeon shooting sports in general. There are people who enjoy it just because they think it's fun, and there are people who enjoy it because they think it gives them some kind of power, or they enjoy it because they like to abuse it for less wholesome means. And it's the second type of person who abuses, airsoft, paintballing, clay pigeon shooting, martial arts, any sort of combat sport you can think of. All those kind of things can and do get abused by people who don't enjoy it for its own sake. They enjoy it for the wrong reasons. And unfortunately, it's people who enjoy these kinds of sports for the wrong reasons that make it harder for the rest of us who enjoy them for the right reasons to continue to enjoy our hobbies in peace. You see, don't need license. Yeah. Make sure everything is up to snuff when you bring it over the border. Yeah. I get that. No, I think so. We don't have to have a firearms license, but we do have to have what's known as a valid defense, and that basically is something that proves that you've got them because you want to enjoy the sport in the right way. So that could be the UCARA that I mentioned, the UK Airsoft license. It could be a membership card for a site. It could be a membership card for a university society that does airsoft, or a university group. Something like that. Just evidence to prove that you've got this realistic looking firearm. Even if it's not actually a firearm, it looks real. You just need to basically prove that you got it because you're an airsofter and not because you're trying to be a dick. So there's a few different things that you can use for that. For my part, I have membership cards to the airsoft sites that I usually go to. Germans are dicks even if you don't have anything on you. I'll be honest, I've never tried to take my airsofting equipment across a border, so I don't know what that's like. Yeah. I can imagine. I can imagine how awful it would be to try and take airsofting equipment, or paintballing equipment even, across the border. I get nervous enough just having it in the boot of the car in case we get stopped. No, officer, this is not a real Desert Eagle. I can't really prove that it's not real unless you let me shoot it. But somehow I don't think you're gonna let me do that. Having said that, airsofting is insane amounts of fun with the right group. So much fun. It's exhausting, it's great exercise. And I've been to some genuinely beautiful places because of it as well. Places that I would not have been to otherwise. But I'd say if you are planning to go to airsoft in the UK, look up a reputable site and go with a group of people that you trust. Preferably at least with one person who is at least experienced in airsofting, so they can teach you the right way to do it and how to enjoy it safely. Faster, more fun, good to check, because you're most scared of people. That's fair. That makes sense. Well, I mean, I know airsofting in Australia, for example. In Western Australia, it's completely banned. You cannot do airsoft. You cannot own airsoft guns. There are no airsoft sites. I think they're tightly restricted elsewhere. But yeah, there's a few countries where airsoft's just banned. In the US, it's almost entirely the opposite direction. They have way higher FPS limits, to the point where I would be scared to airsoft in America. Japan are a bit stricter than the UK, but they have a pretty big airsoft scene. And a lot of the major airsoft gun makers are Japanese. which is pretty cool. So it's definitely a global thing as well. But yeah. The UK is in a bit of a tough position with it at the moment. I think a lot of that is on content creators and site owners who are kind of letting the bad behavior fester rather than addressing it. Because they don't want to scare off customers. Which I get, but it's frustrating for the rest of us. If you're scared of anyone in America that points a gun like thing at me. Yeah. Well, for context, Mango, some American airsoft sites allow FPS of, I think, like 800, I remember reading. I know for sure 700. But bearing in mind a 9mm handgun, I think, is around 900 FPS. So they let some scary numbers on site. And honestly, I don't see the point. I'm completely honest with you. I don't see the point of having those kind of numbers on an airsoft field. But I suppose they've got the room to be able to get the distance. But yeah, I wouldn't airsoft in America myself. I feel like the limits they have there are way too lax. And arguably dangerous. But it's quite a healthy scene over there. Japan, like I said, are a bit more strict. I'd consider airsofting over there if I was able to. They have like quite tight limits, but the safety is top notch, and they have some really good airsoft manufacturers out in Japan. It's not all bad. I wish my my Aussie friends could appreciate airsofting. Oh. Makes me sad they'll never appreciate it. Well, not unless they come visit me over here. So, do you do any competitive paintballing, Mango, or is it all just casual stuff? Because I know there's things like speed soft or speed paintballing, sometimes known as hyperballing, I think. I don't do that sort of stuff, but my local site does run events, so I kind of vaguely know about it. No, just casual. Speedball. Fair enough. Yeah, that's fair. I'm just kind of curious because I've never met anyone who does do the competitive side of things. I don't know a lot about it. There is absolutely nothing wrong with the casual side. Funnily enough, actually, Airsoft is also partly the reason that I have a panda mascot, because I have a full face mask in Airsoft, and it's got a panda on it. I have a little panda face mask. And yeah, it kind of became like a way for people to recognize me when I was on the field. Tactical guy with the plate carrier and the kit hero. So I wear a panda face, full face mask, just like a plain black long sleeve like tactical shirt, and then usually either black and white snow camo trousers or bright blue snow camo trousers, like bright blue camo trousers. I'm like the opposite of tactical. I stand out like a sore thumb because 9 times out of 10 we're doing forest, woodland stuff. So you can see me a mile away. It's kind of hilarious, but I love it. I love my gear. I love my appearance when I'm airsofting. No one sees my face, but everyone sees me coming. And I've got a PPSH as my main light rifle. So it's a wood and steel Tommy gun looking thing. Only I think it looks way prettier than a Tommy gun. I have a massive 5.7 and a massive Desert Eagle pistol as well, and I will usually carry all three with me. So it's kind of great. I've got the most mismatched, ridiculous looking setup to anyone who goes in for the militaristic accuracy of anything. But you definitely won't lose me if you're on my team. As you can tell, we take things very seriously in our group. There are groups that do what's known as milsim, militaristic or military simulation. So they'll go for the accurate ammo clips and all of the replica military uniforms and all that jazz. I'm not one of those people. And I am fine with that. Like, if you enjoy milsim, that's more power to you. But I like my ridiculous get up. I like my mismatched gear. I like just turning up and having fun. What is it iffy? Because every twig destroys your bolt. True. Roll for initiative. 7. I'm going last, Indy. Too much for you as well. Yeah, no judgment on the milsimmers. Like they're allowed to enjoy their hobby however they like. But yeah, I like my silliness, and you know other people appreciate it too. I nearly always get a comment about my riff, and I know that the panda mask makes a few people smile whenever they see it. So I'm more than happy to keep doing it. Like how you had a D20 close by. Yeah. Funnily enough, this D20, this one right here, I picked this up at PAX in 2019. It's my only full metal D20. And it just looks cool. I literally, it was one of those things that I just grabbed in the moment because it looked cool. And I'm so happy I did. What did you get, Indy? What's your initiative? Do you have a dex bonus? I clearly do not. Clearly got a -1 on dex. What is Easter or Christmas? Jesus, Santa's. Yes. I love Halloween. Our subgroup used to do Halloween special where we dress up as something. All that something. It's like, you know, some people did John Wick. We've had people doing God, let me think. Yeah, we've got like clowns and things like that. All sorts of weirdness. It's always great. It's always a good laugh. Full Metal Heretic. Hey, I kind of like that. That definitely sounds like it could be a legit anime. I mean, we've seen people turn up for bachelor parties where they've been in like full dress and makeup and things like that. It's fantastic. People who turn up with a good sense of humor for airsoft or paintball, yeah, either one. They're the best. Because you're about to run around the woodland all day having small plastic pellets thrown at you at very high speeds. You kind of need to bring a sense of humor with you. I've got to ask though, Mango, do you guys get the 3 o'clock blues as well when you do a full day? Is that a thing with you lot? Or is that just an airsoft thing? And when I say 3 o'clock blues, it's like you'll start the day at about 9 a.m. You'll have lunch, and then by about 3 p.m. Okay. 3 p.m. when, you know, everyone's kind of tired. It's nearly the end of the day because airsofting days usually finish at around 4 or 5, depending on the light. So it's 3 o'clock. You're kind of close to the end of the day. You've got like maybe 1 or 2 more games left, and then everyone just ends up being a dick. Everyone ends up getting really grumpy, and they kind of forget to pay attention to the rules, or you know, things like that. And it's always at around that sort of time. It's literally, you can set your watch to it on some sites. I've always been curious to see if that's a universal thing or if that's just a UK thing. It seems to be that you get to about 3 o'clock and there's like a switch flip. It happens nearly every time. No idea why. Must be like blood sugar or something. But it's mad. Usually play from 8 to about 3 or 4. That's fair. That's fair. We typically finish around the times that we do because of the light. Especially in winter, it'll get dark by about 4 o'clock. So. Then again, like I said, I've not been for a couple of years at this point. Obviously, couldn't go during the pandemic, and I haven't been. I might have been once since then, maybe. I can't really remember. Not due to health reasons, partly for time reasons. I've always wondered if that's a local thing or if it's just kind of a universal thing that it's 3 p.m. and then everyone's just being terrible. True for people trying to pretend they didn't get hit when they blatantly did. People are just getting stroppy and throwing a fit for no reason. All that sort of stuff. All the bad behaviors come out. If they're going to come out at all. Doesn't always happen, but nearly every time. You'll see it. And it's weird because it'll only ever really last for a game. And then the last game is usually pretty chill. But I'll be honest, I rarely play the last game of the day. I use it as time to pack up and, you know, have a break, have a snack. Start packing up and going home, tidying away, helping retrieve any items for the rest of the group, that kind of stuff. Just helps us get out of the car parks a bit easier, that kind of stuff. Alrighty, that does look better now I've painted it darker. Oh, you get overshot when you don't call your hits? That's fair. That's fair enough. I guess it's easier to kind of tell when someone gets hit in paintball. It's not like you can really deny that someone shot you when you got a great big splat of paint on you. Whereas in airsoft, it doesn't leave a mark unless you're using a very specific type of BB that most people don't like to use. Which, to be honest, I wouldn't even know where to get hold of BBs that would leave a mark. I know they theoretically exist, but I wouldn't know where to find them. Okay. Gonna do a little bit of I don't know for sure if this is how the gun looks, but I'm gonna assume it looks more or less like this. Let's go here first. I'm trying to remember that right. Yeah, even then you're stained with paint. Yeah, it's silly. It's silly. It's not like, you know, in airsoft you're firing tiny little 6mm. Funny enough, BBs are kind of the same size as this little pot here. Like the little guy, probably around that sort of size. Yeah, they're small, little, usually light or white plastic. And they just flick off of you. So yeah, the only way you can really tell if someone gets hit, other than visually seeing it, is that little, yeah, ow, that hurt jump they do. Which is why, like I said before, there's kind of an honor system. When you get hit in airsoft, you're meant to stick your hand up straight in the air and yell hit super loudly. Doesn't always happen, but it was meant to happen. It's so funny to me, like, people who, you'll watch some people take 20-yard rounds from, you know, say for example, a drum mag, like the one I have on my PPSH, and they'll like jump and dance all around. They still won't call a hit. They won't move. They won't make any attempt to acknowledge the fact they got hit. And it's so funny to me because it's so obvious. I was like, I'm not hit. I'm not hit. Hold on, system. Yeah. Call your head. Sorry, colour your black and blue system. Yes. Well. Yeah. All I'm going to say is, if you don't call your hit, I'm going to assume I missed. I'm going to keep firing. Which is part of the other reason why you call your hits, to be honest. Is if you don't want to go back looking like you've been attacked by a purple marker pen, you kind of want to let the other people know you're hit, so then they stop shooting you. Well, at least you'd think that. But not everyone does. And obviously, mistakes happen. Like, someone is wearing particularly thick clothing, or maybe you hit them in like the plate carrier, so they didn't quite feel it. That's fair enough. I'm not coming after those people. I'm coming after the ones that are practically dancing an Irish jig because of the number of times they've been hit and then refusing to admit it and stick their hand up and go respawn. Those are the people that I'm mocking. Those are the people that are the reason that you know, a lot of folks will keep firing. So my favorite but pushed too far forward and the trio is behind got hammered. Yeah, that happens a lot there, Andy. Like you're heading home with only a lump on your collarbone. Damn. Yeah, I usually come out of airsoft games with like a lot of like I said, these kind of marks like this one, where they're just little round bruises everywhere. Most of the time they fade. Like the ones that you see on my arm typically are ones that I was either super close and I just got unlucky. You know, I like went around the corner and someone went, oh, in surprise and sprayed me. That happens. Again, not gonna get mad at that because surprise. You know, it happens. But a lot of the times, that's the kind of stuff that I'll end up with, and it's usually on my right arm because that's the one that usually goes forward. few days. I've never been paintballing, funnily enough. I don't know what it's like to get shot by a paintball. I'm assuming it feels like a fat airsoft round hitting you. But I wouldn't know. Hurts archery paintball? Oh, those are padded tips? That sounds like a lot of fun, Indy. I'd do it. It'd be funny, but that sounds like fun. What kind of like with LARP bows, for example? Say padded. Yeah, with like a beanbag tip. Yeah, you'll feel it, but it won't hurt. Yeah, sure. Why not? Sounds good to me. I've heard of something like that similar in LARP circles. Where you have, arrows with beanbag tips and things like that. For if your character happens to be an archer. It sounds fun to me. But as you can probably tell by now, I don't tend to take these things too seriously. So I'm sure a serious archer would probably have some issues with it. But me personally, I think it sounds great. I'm in. When do we start? Sounds like it could knock you out. I mean, I imagine you can wear like face protection and all that jazz. It won't be too bad. I don't know. I'd have to ask Ozzy Paladin about it. He does a lot of LARPing. So I don't know what they do in terms of archery and stuff. But it does kind of sound similar. Plus it gives me an excuse to talk to a wonderful human being. Win-win. Fix up bits that have been overpainted, and we should be good. I'm gonna darken these down a little bit, I think. I'm doing a quick coat of Fashion Grey on these, just to give them like half a step darker. There you go, it looks a little better. It looks a little less goofy. All this airsoft talk is making me want to go again. I haven't been in ages. But you all reminded me how much fun I had with it. I'd also love to do to try out LARP at some point, even if it's just for like a one-day thing. I feel like it could be fun. It always looks so much fun. Plus, who wouldn't like to be an orc or a goblin or something like that for a day? I know I certainly would. Yeah, we will, all kinds of stuff. Stick these two bits together just to see how they look together. Oh, that's looking pretty lit. I don't know why my voice went all weird then. That's looking pretty good. Obviously not quite fully attached together, but I reckon that looks kind of Mandalorian-ish. Actually a ridiculously simple thing. I'm going to do the helmet too. This will take an embarrassingly short amount of time. Hardest part will be straight lines. That's what I'm doing first. And just fill in the gaps.
Computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Yeah, it's funny because I was actually talking about taking up martial arts again recently as well. I thought I found a boxing class, but it turned out it was only an 8-week thing that had just finished. But I really want to get into boxing or kickboxing. I reckon that'll be a hell of a lot of fun. Now I'm getting the airsoft bug again. It's cool. I think it's a good sign. Yeah, hobbies that I thought I'd put to one side, coming back into being interested again. That's probably a good thing, right? I have been gardening a lot this weekend though. It's been cool. Really rewarding. I've been able to harvest a bunch of like lettuce, a couple of strawberries. I've got some kale seeds that sprouted late. I'm gonna harvest them when they've sprouted a little bit more and get baby kale for salads. I've just planted out some spinach. I think I might be able to also maybe harvest some potatoes today, some like baby potatoes, which would be awesome. There will be photos. My some of my flowers. So I grow a few just decorative flowers, like forget-me-nots. They've started growing again. The plants have come back again. So it's been really nice. I also got treated myself. I bought a lavender bush. So that's currently getting used to being outside. So it's not really grown much yet, but it's a small little thing. I'm hoping it will grow a bit bigger over the next couple of months. I also bought some herbs, so I've got thyme. And then a few more plants on the way. I'm just going to kind of slowly... now I'm kind of more confident with my gardening. Gonna slowly start cultivating stuff that I will use more regularly than things like beetroot, for example, which is not one of my favorite things. I can grow it. I can grow it very well, luckily, in the place that I'm in. But it's not my favorite thing. Like salad leaves, I'll use a ton of. But I want to grow things like blueberries or carrots, because I use a lot of carrots. Or some onions or some garlic. I'm going to plant some garlic this weekend as well. But I think it might be a little early maybe for garlic. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's been something that's been bringing me a lot lot of joy this week. Partly because I never thought of myself as someone who could do the gardening thing. With where I was, or where I am, even. Like this place is about as suburban as you get in the UK. It is very much city, very much not countryside, not. I don't have grass. I have a small balcony that is like a foot wide. No, not that small. Like maybe 6 foot square. It is tiny. I'm so happy that I managed to get something out of it all. Especially since I had a couple of disasters earlier on in the year with like my little greenhouse getting destroyed, seeds getting knocked over twice. Yeah, it's been really lovely to get some achievement out of it. I've been documenting it all, like photos and stuff on Instagram. And I have a little separate account as well that I've posted a few extra bits and pieces on, like behind the scenes things. That's separate from my the one on stream and the one that you guys all have. Like I said, it's literally just about gardening, so unless you're interested in that, I don't think anyone would be interested in following it. But if you are, just shoot me a message. I'll be happy to share it with you. But it's not one I'm going to promote on here because I don't see the point. It's more of a for me thing than a for the content thing. So yeah. Anyway, back to the painting. So all I'm doing here, I painted the whole helmet in Iron Hand Steel. That's going to be my main Beskar color. And then I'm just in these little areas here, I'm putting in a thin layer of lead belcher to kind of get the shadow going. Then I'm going to go over the top again with Stormhurst. To try and even out the colour a bit. That's just to kind of emphasise the shadow a bit. So it's not just flat silver of one variety. That one's actually coming out a little bit better than this one. This one's a little too heavy-handed. Yeah, I'm just going to tidy up these little cheek areas. And any sort of overspill from the sides. Again, these bits at the side, that stripe across the top of the head, that's all lead belcher. So it's just 2 silvers. That's all. Used in slightly different ways. I'm just making sure that the color is as even as I can get it. It's actually settled out quite nicely. I'm still going to paint over this section. And we'll leave that bottom section as it was. gonna touch. I'm just gonna take my Corvus Black and just tidy up that little visor segment. The reason I'm using Corvus Black is that it kind of just makes it look a bit more like I've not just forgotten to paint it. It looks like I've actually had some attention on it. Plus the slightly blue-grey tone, I feel like it works better with the silver. I think it looks nicer as a colour. And it's possibly not something that translates well on screen, but you'll see in the photos. If I just hold these two together for a second, you'll see the difference more clearly, I think. So this one is the black that's on the model, the unpainted parts of the model. For example, this bit is that black. That's Corvus Black, the one that I'm using in the visor, and things like that. So you can see when I hold them side by side. Corvus Black, Abaddon or Primer Black. So that's the one that I like using with the silver, just because it's kind of a little bit bluish. But it still looks black when you look at it on the model. Welcome to Mando's Pizzeria. How may I help you? It's a little bit like that. So it's not going to look quite right because the cloak's meant to go on before the head. But I can kind of show you. We got a little bit of a Mando going on here. We got a little bit of a Denjarin. He's almost ready. Hey, Zinker. Welcome in. I literally just finished the last piece for today. Because, as you can see, I need to rest my joints a bit today. But yeah, we did the torso today, and we did the head. That's kind of roughly how he's going to sit. Kind of like that. And we got his flames from the other day. You know, you're kind of getting a good idea of what this guy's going to look like when he's done. So I'll probably finish him off next week. Hopefully, when I don't have a wrist that needs to be rested. It's great. Thank you so much, thank you. I appreciate it. I hope you're well. I am sorry that I have to finish now because I feel bad that you're only getting a minute or two, but I hope you're taking care of yourself. But yeah, I do unfortunately have to finish it there for today. Yeah, like I said, I'll finish the whole model off and we'll get a full assembly thing. And I'll probably go over and tidy up any funkiness next week. So finishing off Dinjarin next week. So it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be good. Super excited for that. Like I said, there's also a couple of cool demos that I'm doing next week, and hopefully more Cult of the Lamb, because I really hate that that's been so inconsistent. So I'm hoping that comes back next week. But I'll let you guys know closer to the time. I still feel bad there. I'm sorry time zones suck. But yeah, I am going to leave it there for today. Thank you all very much for joining me. Whether you chatted, looked, I really appreciate it. Mango, thank you again for the resub, and Magic, thank you again so much for the gift. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are in the world. Wonderful weekend. I hope you guys take care of yourselves, stay safe, and I will see you all next week. Bye for now, folks.